Game week 28 of the Premier League is here, and there's so much on the line. We have a title race that's heating up, we have a top four race that needs to be solved, and we have a relegation battle between a few teams. I think two teams are already going to go down, but the other teams are really fighting, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Tottenham may be one of those teams. But there's so many things on the line, and I'm going to talk about them in every single game. So I'm going to start from the first game, which is Friday night. P.S. I'm recording this like 3 hours before the game, but forgive me. So first and foremost, Wolves against Aston Villa. Now, Wolves have been terrible this season. I keep saying it every time I do these prediction videos. Wolves have been absolutely dreadful this season. And they play against an Aston Villa side who are third. Now, Aston Villa have not been perfect as well. They started to drop points here and there. But it's a West Midlands derby, and you know what comes with a derby. You know that there's going to be drama. There's going to be a lot of, it's going to be a bit feisty, but I do think that with this one, Wolves have been really poor this season. I just don't see a way in which they win this game. I mean, a win for them would be nice, but they have to win like 7 or 8 games to stay up and hope that the other teams who are fighting against relegation actually drop points. But Aston Villa, they're somehow dropping points and getting farther away from the Premier League title. But more importantly, they're getting closer to fourth. And Manchester United are in good form. So they want to probably keep that distance at the very least so that they can ensure a top 4 finish. So I think in this game, I'm expecting Aston Villa to pull this one through. And maybe they'll win 2-0 or 2-1. I mean, Wolves are struggling to score as much, but I see a 2-1 win or a 2-0 win for Aston Villa. Now, Bournemouth versus Sunderland. Lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. I mean, Bournemouth have started playing really well. Sunderland have lost their last 2 games at home, so it's not looking so good. I think they've lost their last 3 games in the league, so it's not looking perfect. I think they're back to 12th. Bournemouth are starting to play good football again. They had a really poor form, between the end of the year and the beginning of this year, but they started to pick up form and started to get points. I think they've gotten quite a number of points in the last 5 games. So I think with the way things are going right now, and Bournemouth being on a somewhat small unbeaten run, I don't see a way in which Sunderland win this game. I think Sunderland right now, they probably punched above their weight so far, and maybe they're missing Granit Xhaka a lot, but I don't see how Sunderland get this one done. I think the best result for Sunderland in this game is probably a draw, but I do think that I think Bournemouth would find their way through and they'll probably win this game, maybe 2-0. Now, Burnley against Brentford. Like I said, Burnley are struggling. They're 19th. It's not looking very good for them. Although they've started to get a few good results. I mean, they won a game against Crystal Palace. They drew against Chelsea. So it's not looking too bad. But, I mean, they're not that good. And Brentford are flying this season. In fact, they've extended their coach's contract. So I think in this one, I'm expecting Brentford to get back to winning ways. They've dropped form a bit, but I think this is one of those games where they need to find a way to win against a team that's struggling against relegation. So I think Brentford will probably edge this one 2-1 and get back to winning ways. But at worst, it's probably going to be a draw. But I do think that Brentford have the upper hand in this game. Now, Liverpool against West Ham. Now, my team, we've not had the best season, honestly, and it's been a shameful title defense. But I have to say that West Ham have not been too bad. I think they're unbeaten in the last 4 games. They've not been too bad in general. So I think this is one of those ones where it could be tougher than it looks. But we're back at Anfield, and we'd expect Liverpool to play really good football and try and get back to winning ways. The last game against Nottingham Forest was absolutely dreadful. I couldn't believe what I was watching, but I think we're lucky to get the win. But you'll never see me complaining about 3 points. So there's a lot to do in terms of Liverpool's improvement. But West Ham, like I said, they've not been too bad, unbeaten in the last 3 or 4. So I do think this is going to be a tough one, but I expect Liverpool to just get the edge in this one. I probably think it's going to end 2-1 or maybe 2-0 because I think Liverpool's defense is starting to get better. I think we've kept 3 clean sheets in a row or something like that. So I expect Liverpool to win this game, and it's going to be unfortunate for West Ham. And obviously, I'm still going to back my team at the end of the day. Now, Newcastle against Everton. Now, this one is a tough one because both teams are quite inconsistent in their chase for Europe. But Everton are unbeaten in 6 games away right now, so that's quite an impressive record for them. And Newcastle, their form has dipped, really. It's not been a very good season for them. I know they're still doing all right in the Champions League, but, amongst all the other teams in the Champions League in England, they were the only team who didn't get an automatic qualification for the round of 16, so they had to go through Karabakh, who they absolutely dispatched. Well, I think Newcastle need to still improve. There's a lot of room for improvement, and I think Everton have also been inconsistent here and there, so I'm expecting this one to probably be a draw. I think this one could end 2-2 or 1-1, but I think it's going to be a draw. I don't think. I mean, Newcastle could start playing well, but they've not also been very good at home recently. So, but I do think it's going to be a draw. Now, Leeds versus Manchester City, the first game this weekend that's going to have a direct impact on the Premier League title race. Leeds have actually not been too bad recently. Like, they've started to get some results here and there. They've not been terrible compared to how they started this season. They're shocking some teams, getting a draw against Liverpool, getting a win against Chelsea at some point, and also a draw again. So Leeds have not been too bad. I think they've been decent recently this season. So, but playing against Man City are in form now. They're unbeaten in like maybe their last 8. They won like their last 3 or 4. So, I mean, it looks like Man City are starting to click again. Haaland is getting back to scoring. We have Semenyo who has fit into Man City like a dog to water. And then we've also seen how McGahey has brought some assurance into their defense. And with what's on the line, they know that they cannot afford to drop points. If they drop points, I think Arsenal will win this league. I'm just going to say that in terms of the title race, anybody dropping points is not serious. Like, if you drop points, you're probably going to lose the league, except somehow your opponents drop points as well. So I think Man City need to win this game. I don't think there's any other option but for them to win this game. So I'm going to go with a Man City win 2-0 or 3-0. Now, Brighton against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest are probably looking for a way to get back into, winning ways. They've not been very good in the league recently, and they are fighting against relegation this season. So it's not looking very good for them, but they need to find a way to start getting wins. Now, Brighton, on the other hand, have also been quite inconsistent, but they finally got a win last week. So, I mean, they host Forest now, who will probably be licking their wounds. But more importantly, Forest have been struggling to score. In their last 2 games, they've had like maybe 50 shots or more, and they failed to score from any of them. So this is a team that's not looking like they're doing very well. So I hate to say it, but I see a world in which Nottingham Forest could also lose this game again. I think their manager, not their manager, but their owner has played too much with the structure of the team, having sacked 3 different coaches. So I'm sorry, like, I would not even be mad at them if they get relegated, just to suffer the consequences of having a really poor or a really disappointing owner of the club. So I think Brighton could end up, getting their second win in a row, probably winning this game 1-0. Now, Fulham against Tottenham. Now, Tottenham last week, I said they were absolutely terrible. And I still think they're absolutely terrible. Now, Fulham got a win last week against Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. So they must also be feeling really confident. So in this game, I think objectively, based on form, I don't see any way in which Tottenham win this game. But Tottenham needs to start getting points on the board. They have to start getting points on the board, because if they don't start getting points, if a Nottingham Forest should somehow win a game, or if West Ham should win a game, Tottenham are in bigger trouble because they're just 4 points above the relegation zone. It sounds crazy, and there are only 10 games to go in the Premier League. So this is absolutely crazy. Or 11 games actually right now. So I do think this is going to be a tough one, but I expect to see... I don't think Tottenham will lose this game. I can't believe I'm saying it, but they need to start getting results. And if they lose this game, then I think they're in real trouble. So I think this one is going to be a draw, because Fulham are not too bad, and they're playing at Craven Cottage. So I expect probably a draw from this game. Now, Manchester United against Crystal Palace. Now, Manchester United have been fantastic under Michael Carrick. 16 points from 18. 5 wins from 6, 1 draw. They're unbeaten under Carrick. And, it's looking really good. Now, I still don't think they have the best style of football. I don't think they're playing the best football. But it's looking a lot better than it was before. And we're starting to see the United DNA back in this team. And Benjamin Sesko has been saving them recently. I don't know why he's not starting games. So I do think he's probably going to get started in this game. Crystal Palace are in a bit of a mess. They've lost their captain. Mateta is not fit. Glasner looks like he's on his way out. Some fans are not happy about the way Glasner has handled certain things, and they actually want him out, which is crazy. Like, the first title in like 70 years, and the guy who won it, they're like, you need to go. So I think there's a bit of disarray, and they've not been fantastic, like I said. But Palace are really messy with everything that's happening with them this season. But Manchester United are doing really well, and this is at Old Trafford, so I expect to see a Manchester United win. Probably, maybe this could be their best performance. I think they've been all right, but I think this could be their best performance this season. So I'm expecting a routine win in this game. I'm expecting them to probably win like 2-0 in this game. Now, the final game, the big game this game week. Arsenal host Chelsea. Now, objectively, for anyone who doesn't want to see Arsenal win the league, we're all supporting Chelsea in this game. But I hate to break it to you guys. Chelsea at the Emirates Stadium have not been very great. I saw a stat where they've only scored 1 goal in their last 5 against Arsenal at the Emirates. Like, it's not looking very good. And I think they're really struggling to beat Arsenal. Like, Arsenal they've gotten the better of Chelsea in recent times. And recently, actually, they're unbeaten. Like, Arsenal have been unbeaten in 24 of their last 25 derbies in London. So this is one of those ones where I'm struggling to see how Chelsea get a result in this one. And Chelsea have been inconsistent. They've drawn against Leeds. They've drawn against Burnley. They're just not playing the best football. And Arsenal, they know what they have to do. They have to win this league. So, I mean, a lot of us are hopeful that Arsenal will drop points, but I don't think it's actually going to be this game. I think it's going to be really tough for Chelsea to get a result in this game. So, at most, Chelsea could probably get a draw from this game. But I think Arsenal are going to win this one. And I think they're going to win it well. Probably 2-0 or 3-1. So that's my prediction. I think in the title race, nothing much is going to change. I think in terms of the top 4 race, I think Chelsea might be dropping points again. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm saying rubbish. Like, I could be saying absolute nonsense. And last week, my predictions were, some of them were really good. Some of them were not so good. I'm not God. I don't know what the results are always going to be. But that's just what I think about this one. I think the relegation battle is still going to remain the same. The Premier League title race is still going to remain the same. There's still going to be pressure on both teams to not drop points. But in the top 4 race, I think Chelsea might be slowing down. I think they might be that one team who are not going to do well in this title race. I think Liverpool also have their issues, but the recent form has been good. But that's it for this one. Before you leave, make sure you watch one of these videos. Make sure you leave a like. I'm trying to get to 300 subscribers soon. Thank you all for your support so far. It's just been 3 months and I've gotten so much support. I did not expect to see these numbers. So thank you so much. So like I said, before you leave, make sure you like, make sure you share, subscribe to see more of this content, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys in one of these videos. See you guys in the next one. Cheers.